Not even if I'm sleeping, I'm listening to podcasts talking about AI. And then when I was trying everything, my whole Instagram and TikTok feeds are now AI hacks because there's that much changing that rapidly. It went from back in the way back in the day, $5,000 for a PC that was that big, right? Yeah. To, hey, if you just have a laptop and a connection to the internet, you can start anything. To now, you have a mentor, whether you use Perplexity, Anthropic, Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, it doesn't matter, right? You have experts. And you might say those hallucinate. Let me just tell you, your mentors and experts don't always get it right either. You've got these tools that'll just spider everything, that'll do your emails, that'll do sales calls for you. Are you fucking kidding me?
In AI products, only two features really have helped build trust with the user. One is sources, citations, where the AI model is pulling the information from. Otherwise, you can't really know if what the AI model said to you is correct or not. What do you even do with the answer? And the second is the reasoning trace, completely transparent reasoning trace of how the AI model arrived at the answer. And we are the only product which actually does both of these to the user.
You can chat with ChatGPT, and then when you're ready, you can say, yeah, that's great. Can you draw me an image of that?
Image generators nowadays, they look good, but it's going beyond just looking good. Attention to detail makes it really, really useful.
What's special about this is, one, it'll keep the context of this character, and then two, it'll understand what I'm trying to ask it for, and you will see it in different forms as we generate it.
You have the drawing like this, and ChatGPT will get back to you a real comic book.
It's really about communicating and imagining and doing so at the same time.
Make a transparent image, smart Asian researcher, blue t-shirt. It's easy.
Picture is worth 1,000 words, but being able to also render like a few words or symbols can carry like thousands of pictures.
Tesla will launch its robotaxi service commercially in Austin, Texas in June. That is when analysts are going to have to put into their models what a robotaxi service is. And it's a software as a service model. Right. Very high margin, 80% plus for platform companies, whereas the electric vehicle is 15, 20, 25% gross margin. So we think that robo-taxis will account for 90% of the value of the company in 5 years. And we're on record saying we believe in 5 years the stock will hit $2,600. And that's not even including humanoid robots, which are now moving into the Tesla ecosystem much faster than even we expected. So more than a tenfold increase just from robotaxis.
How many people feel smarter than GPT-4? Okay, how many of you think you're still going to be smarter than GPT-5?
I was expecting more hands here.
I don't think I'm going to be smarter than GPT-5, and I don't feel sad about it because I think it just means that we'll be able to use it to do incredible things. And, you know, like we want more science to get done. We want to enable researchers to do things they couldn't do before. This is like the long history of humanity. It does feel a little different this time because of what this can enable. But if scientists can do things because they have like a crazy high IQ tool and they can focus more on figuring out the right questions to ask, address things quicker, do their search space faster, that's just a win for all of us. So we're thrilled to get to enable that.
We're going to actually merge together. We're not going to carry around a separate part. We'll do that with virtual reality. We'll actually see things, and it'll actually go inside our brain. That'll happen in the 2030s. And we won't be able to tell the difference between things that our biological brain, which we'll keep, as well as our AI-assisted brain, we won't be able to tell the difference, and it'll be part of who we are. So it won't be us versus AI. We're going to be made much more intelligent by merging with AI.
There will be some jobs that totally go away, where the AI just does them end to end. Mostly, I think it'll be a case of a new tool where people are just much more productive and can do work at a higher quality. So there will still be people that are in charge of, making a website look great, but the expectations of how good a website looks just go up a lot, and we all get better stuff. In fact, maybe we get more. Maybe there's more demand for that in a world like that. That I think can cut many different ways. And then there will be totally new classes of jobs that we just haven't seen before at all.
Yeah. Do you have examples so far?
There are some kinds of customer support where I think an AI can just do that end to end, and that'd be in the first category. In the second, since we're on this example of graphic designers, taste still really matters. And no doubt it's going to change the workflow of a graphic designer, and some things that some people were paid for, they won't be paid for those tasks. But what it appears to me will happen is you will still need some sort of job, which is, make this website look beautiful.
What is something you thought about AI, but you have a totally different experience now?
I somehow thought it was going to be a bigger change to society than it's turned out to be. I had this sort of like sci-fi like vision of what AI was going to be like, and maybe it'll still get there. But right now, it's just this like crazy powerful tool, and life goes on mostly the same. And I'm actually very happy about that. I think that's good. I think I was naive before. I also think that would have been bad, but it's very different than I kind of imagined it 10 years ago. But I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful too. I think, having godlike technology, being able to solve at some point medicine and help us do less of the work we hate, but more of the work we enjoy, I think is net good. And I hope that, everyone benefits from it at some point.
The howl of a dire wolf has...
Colossal is the world's first de-extinction company, and we combine de-extinction with species preservation, and our goal is to make extinction a thing of the past.
People think it's a scary word, de-extinction. They immediately put us with Jurassic Park, and it's not. We're trying to develop these new techniques in order to save animals, in order to bring back animals that, in some cases, were our fault that we don't have them any longer.
We're finding solutions to restore a species back to the wild. The purpose of that is to serve an ecological function. As we lose species within an ecosystem, if you think of a Jenga puzzle, you're sort of pulling blocks out of there. Those blocks that are creating the instability in the ecosystem is literally the function that animal plays. If we can find ways to restore animals that provide that specific function, we can create more stability within an ecosystem.
We've announced 3 species, the woolly mammoth, the thylacine, and the dodo.
Who are the winners and the losers in the wake of generative AI?
Whatever industry you're in, from healthcare, education, finance, accounting, consulting, sales, marketing, every single one of them is going to be touched by AI. Mm-hmm. The problem is most leaders are asking the wrong questions. They're asking, well, how's it going to impact jobs? Or what's this going to do to our revenue? Or how do we protect what our current business model is? They're all the wrong questions. Versus asking, what's the business that'll put us out of business? How can we be the ones to build it first? That's how you win. Mm-hmm. And that requires you to let go of the way things used to be and reimagine who you can become. So you give me any industry, we can start to think through where might this technology make certain skills and processes less valuable or obsolete, and where might it make certain skill enhance.
Kids are saying that AI is making them dumber. Some high school and college students who used to write full essays no problem are now leaning on tools like ChatGPT to do their homework and their learning for them. But the root culprit isn't actually AI. It's actually social media. Platforms like TikTok and Instagram are designed to hack our brain chemistry for quick hits of dopamine, so we stay addicted to the platform, which means even when we're not on the platforms, our attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. Students in school need good attention spans so they can chew on a hard math problem or write a long English essay. But now that AI can do those things for them, they're relying on it. Not because they want to, but because they feel like their brains have been so mushed by the algorithm that they literally can't resist the temptation for a quick fix. Now, the irony in all of this is that for every student who's using AI to avoid hard thinking, there's another student who is using it to embrace learning in a way that they never could have before.
Tech companies have been building data centers around the country, closest to wherever they can find power. The data centers that power AI and that power regular computer systems use about the same amount of power. But that's about to change. The government estimates that because of the growth of AI, the amount of power data centers use in America could triple by 2028. Data centers are these huge warehouse-sized buildings, multiple football fields large. The foundation of a data center is what's called a GPU, a graphics processing unit. GPUs go into computers, which are then slid into racks stacked one on top of the other. And there's rows and rows of these packed into data centers. Because a GPU runs so many calculations at once, it uses a lot more power, about 4 times more power than a traditional chip. I visited a data center in Austin run by a company called Serascale. Serascale leased a data center that was operating like a normal traditional data center. And then they ripped out all of the computing that filled it before and put in new ones just for AI.